What's up, guys? Today I'm here with Jordan at Wissinger's Woodshop, and we're gonna put together some cool treats for the upcoming Riverfront Fights promotion for the We Defy Foundation. Jordan is a really big fan of like veterans and like good causes like that, and I'm a veteran myself, so we came up with a really cool idea that we're gonna be putting together for some cool folks coming up here. So Jordan, what are we doing?
So we're putting together some of our 18-inch wood burnt American flags. I already have a whole bunch of the unions cut out and already stained. We have to start working on the stencils. So I got some of the star stripes to cut out, paint them over with, as well as we got a little bit of a special treat for Brad. We don't have it quite put out yet. You'll see a little bit later, but we have his logo cut out in the technically in the Betsy Ross 1776 logo. Like I said, you're not going to see it. You'll get there a little bit later. You'll see later in the video. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to work on finishing up so far what I've done. We've already burnt some of the wood. Now it's kind of cutting everything down to size and putting them together.
Yeah, pretty sick. Let's get after it. Putting this joint apart.
It's called what's weeding.
Weeding.
So let me think here. So
your logo. I didn't know you were a pothead.
I know. I can't be when I get tested by USADA. So this is the outline of your logo, correct? This first line right here?
Yeah.
See how this wanted to pull up right there?
Yeah, it wanted to stay.
Yeah, so when we do that,
gotta be careful.
we have to do what's called transfer tape, and I'll show you what that looks like, but it's just an extra process. So that's right there is the logo. So we'll see. We got the logo. I don't know how well we can see it. Good. So what we do here, fold this over. Cool, now you can let go.
Yep.
I line these up as best I can. These are much harder to do when you have large logos.
Yeah, I imagine so.
You do that. You take right here. You start in the middle, work your way out to flatten it, and then from there.
Nice. The old peely dealy.
Yeah. So now we got the transfer tape on it. So it was much easier to do in this process than having to try and freehand it. But with the Cricut vinyl cutter and the software, I can make really anything I really want to. So different like cornhole board designs that I've built does that too. Same thing when I make the flags. I can put like the Second Amendment on the stripes or the preamble to the Constitution. I've done both. So then what we do here is we peel the backing of the stencil vinyl off.
Pretty neat.
Okay. Now it's both ways. It's the same both ways, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we just try and line it up as best we can. Now, kind of hard to see with the blue, but to you, does that look good?
It does look good. Yeah, I can see it.
Would you be happy with that if we were ready to peel off the transfer tape and paint it?
Yeah, I'm good with that, man. It looks good to me.
Okay. So what we do here, make sure it's stuck down real well, and we do this over the transfer tape since it's a full, complete layer of plastic.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you do this with just the stencil vinyl, you could potentially be ripping up where we had already cut out the design. Yeah. So this is where it can be a little difficult. I already put a coat of clear coat enamel on this, so hopefully this allows the stencil vinyl to stick better to the union, not come up with the transfer tape. You generally want to try and peel flat away.
Looks like the little inside parts are not being assholes to us.
Yeah, so this is working well. Sometimes I have issues with these.
Yeah,
so
I imagine.
My prep work did well. So then, to make sure that we don't spray paint the outsides, we'll take a little frog tape. So then what we can do from here, it's all ready to go. Semi-gloss protective enamel.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Here, give that a little shake for me. I'll make sure it's all sealed down. So we do a light first coat, and we'll come back to it later. Okay, so we'll give it a little there. All right, so we'll let that dry. It'll only take a few minutes, but then we'll come back to it and we'll hit it with a second coat, and then let that dry, and then we can peel everything off, and your union's good to go then. I'm gonna hit these heavy, and then just be careful when I take them off.
That thick paint.
Well, that worked pretty well. I'm cool with that. I like that.
I think that looks great, man.
That's it. Like I said, first time using this, so.
And it's interesting because it's not even, right? Like this is actual wood. This isn't like some block of composite material.
Yeah.
You have to deal with the grain, and it's saturated pretty well with this vinyl thing that you got going on. It's interesting. I did this before with, I would just take, like I was showing you earlier, I was like, oh, you got like plastic. That's how I could do this design theoretically. And I would just duct tape it down and just hope for the best, like because my stencil wouldn't stick perfectly on it.
So we'll peel your union off, see how it went. Still a little tacky, but I think it's ready enough to come off. Now it's gonna leave the inside of your logo, and then we'll peel that off after.
Doesn't look bad so far. Looks pretty all right. Looks pretty nice. Oh man, we got a catastrophic failure going on in the template though.
No, it's alright.
Most unfortunate.
There we go. Alright, so then, trash. We'll just peel these off. Thank you.
Oh, you like grip it in the middle so you're
That's right.
not fucking the paint up. That's clever. You've done this more than once.
Yeah.
Not too bad. This looks pretty dope, dude. Me gusti. There we go. Dude, that looks pretty fucking neat. Pretty cool. Pretty alright. You guys see that? Yeah, it's showing up good. Dude, that's
there we go.
That's
so now we'll let
cool.
that dry a bit longer, and then we'll hit it with, when the whole flag is said and done, we'll hit it with a top coat of crystal clear enamel. It'll be good.
What do you guys think? Leave a like in the description if you like it or whatever. And make sure you guys follow Jordan on Instagram. Go buy this shit off his wood shop.
Alright, so what we're going to do in order to make the stripes, I'd planed down the 2x4, sanded it and stained it yesterday, put a top coat of not polyacrylic, the clear crystal enamel on it just to give it like a nice smoother finish so when I work on it I don't get a ton of stain on my hands. We're going to cut it to length for the stripes, and then we're going to go to the table saw and rip it to width. But we're going to do the length of the stripes first. It'll just make it a little safer for me come table saw time. So
nice.
We're going to cut each 2x4. You can get 3 cuts of 18 inches and 3 cuts of 10 and 7/8 for the stripes. So that's what we're going to do right now. The edge so it's nice and flat. That laser drawn. Yeah. So line them up perfectly even. So with these you make 4 red stripes for the short stripes, 3 white stripes because you have the 7 short, and then you have 6 long stripes, 3 red, 3 white. For the short ones, 4 red, 3 white. And each one of these 2x4s, when you rip them to 3/4 of an inch in width, taking out and accounting for the 1/8 of an inch table saw blade, ripping it out, you can get exactly 4. So what we're going to be doing now, I'll take one of these boards. We're going to be ripping them to length. First thing we got to do, I have it already lined up and the fence put in place. We're going to be ripping a flat edge here, and then after we get through all of these boards, which is a lot to do, but it should hopefully go relatively quick, we'll then flip it. I'll move this into 3/4 of an inch because every single piece has to be 3/4 of an inch wide, so we'll then rip it to that. So the fence will be moved in a lot closer, and then we'll just keep hitting passes until we're done with the board, and then you'll hand me the next one. Your job will be, when I'm done with the board for this first section, I'll hit it. When it comes through, I'll give it a little pass. You'll move it aside, and then you'll give me the next one. For the next session, when we're doing 3/4 of an inch, I'll hit it, and then you'll take the 3/4 inch piece and move it aside, and I'm just going to keep going until I finish up this board.
Yeah, sounds great, man.
time to put them together. We got the unions put up. Your logo has been made. We're going to do yours first. We got all of the wood now ripped to width. They're 3/4 of an inch wide, all of them, because that is what they need to be in order to make the 18-inch flags. So what it'll look like quick, we set them up to begin with. So let's find the one that we wanted to do for your outside. Let's see, I think there was one specific one I wanted. Maybe not. So, and we can rearrange them, and we'll also brush. Yeah, we'll also brush all the dust off as well before we start this.
Mm-hmm.
So
just kind of like miming it up right now.
yeah, and we can move them around as need be. Now the ends will be
that looks so cool.
Yeah, the ends will be a little off. We'll save that one for the end because that one is a little bit warped, which is fine. So the ends will be a little off, but we'll chop that off at the end.
Yeah. Cool.
To make everything perfectly even. In fact, we'll do this one this way. Same thing. Alright, so that's about what it'll look like. All glued up.
Pretty neat.
Let's do this quick. Let's kind of brush it a little bit just to get an idea.
And the paint's pretty well dry on the B&B logo.
Alright, so that's about what it'll look like. Alright, so now it's time to glue up. Do you like this design or do you want to change anything around on it?
I think that design's pretty good.
Okay, cool. So what we'll do now,
and this doesn't matter, like I remember this is that one that I put aside.
yeah, that one's not a big deal at the moment. Yeah, unfortunately,
glue it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got that little bit of a kickback,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what caused that then. And then we don't need to do the last one. But what I will do is I will then also hit this edge and this edge. So I'll put glue on, I'll put a ton, and what you're gonna do is take this brush and basically just kind of make it nice and even.
Let's do it.
And we'll use a ton of glue here.
Did you ever eat glue when you were in like elementary school?
I'm sure, maybe. I like putting it on my hands.
Yeah. I used to take it and like we had the desks that had the little cubby under it, like in elementary school.
Yeah.
And what I liked to do then was like I would make like a little pool in my desk, and then I would put stuff in it, and then it would harden, and I'd have like soldiers like fighting each other.
Jesus.
And my fucking teacher called me one time. What the fuck is this? She didn't say fuck, but she meant fuck.
You know, she went home that night.
So like, guess what, this fucking kid. For sure.
They're the reason. You're the reason why the teachers drink.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
Why they have little hidden booze in their desk for lunchtime.
Yo, for
Get
sure.
them through the day.
That's funny, man. In retrospect, man, I had this one teacher. I won't say her name, because she wasn't so bad, but she was definitely bombed one day.
Yeah.
Like she was like giving everyone candy, like, "Oh, what's up, fucking guys?" Like I think she said some swear words that day, and like we were all looking at each other like, "Dude, she's fucked up right now, dude."
Was this elementary?
This was high school.
Okay.
Reading High, or maybe it was middle school. But yeah, you can imagine once I said Reading, right? You were like, yeah, appropriately so. I'm like surprised she didn't do that every day.
Let me hit a little bit more glue.
Did you have like a carpentry class in high school? Like
I just had the woodworking class.
But yeah, you were saying on the podcast that you had like the Amish version, so you like had the like super ye old way.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily the Amish way. Just we took it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
Because we were in an area where a lot of the Amish and Mennonites did do like fine woodworking, and that they sold that then as part of their living. But we had a really nice wood shop. I just took the first edition where we made a nice nightstand out of oak wood. Mm-hmm. Everything basically straight from just regular wood. We did everything to carve it all out, and I mean, it looks really nice. I still have it. I use it actually right now.
Yeah, you were telling me.
My brother did it, and he went further into the wood shopping. He made some like queen size bed frame that was like a sleigh bed, so it's got like the curved, like they had to heat it in a moist oven.
Oh wow,
so
yeah, that's
it forces
fancy.
the water into it to heat it and soften it, and then they have to warp it around a template.
You know what's something I don't know? How is plywood made? Like you have the multiple plies,
there's
but
a good
like
YouTube video on it. It's actually really cool.
yeah, you'll have to send me it.
Yeah, so they take logs and they actually spin them and they shave it.
That's kind of what I
spinning
thought.
it.
Yeah.
They go like a telephone pole rolling on
But
a
how do they
spinner.
get it flat?
So they just, well, when they shave it, it's only like 1/8 of an inch thick, the actual
Yeah,
sheets.
because for
So
plywood, it's multiple layers.
yeah,
right?
and then they just put a strong adhesive glue between each layer and just put the sheets together. So that's how that works.
Nice.
But I mean, it's quite a process. I remember watching a video probably about a month ago on it because it was like a newer version of it. And it's actually very intensive how much effort goes into making plywood.
Yeah.
It's
You ever
crazy.
watch that How It's Made
Yeah,
show? Oh,
used
dude,
to love
I
that.
used to love that in high school, dude. That was my jam. That I loved anything on like the Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite like survivalist guy?
You know, I used to watch, there was a TV show, he wasn't a survivalist, but he was someone, I forget what it was called, but they had him on, he was on horseback, and they dropped people off from all
the
different...
Man Tracker?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was cool,
fun-
yeah.
And
I like that one.
I remember this one, I think they were in like Washington State, there was this giant mountain, and the person decided instead of going around the mountain, they go up and over the mountain, and they were from like New York City,
Oh,
and never
man.
did anything woodsy.
Yeah.
And they made it like the entire episode was just videos of them just like
Hating
just
life.
hating life. They finally got to like the top of the hill and they just quit at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
And the whole time Man Tracker was like he couldn't figure out where they were or anything because he was like no way they'd go up the hill. It's way
Yeah.
too labor intensive. They had to go around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they went up the hill.
That's so
and then they
funny.
quit.
That's so funny, dude. how am I doing? Am I doing
You're
a good
pretty
job?
good. I think we're
All
good to go
Good
on
stuff.
putting some glue on these edges here.
I thought you were watching me like, man, this guy's fucking this up. Just ruining the whole
Come over
process.
so we did this one.
It's like, good thing I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna let him butcher his own thing.
Yeah, it's his own. He's not going out to anyone else, just his
Yeah.
own. If it sucks, it sucks.
Yeah.
He gets to look at it.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So you got like, is that like epoxy? Like, what's going on
No,
back there?
so that's tree sap.
Oh,
That's
no
pine
way.
sap, yeah.
So this is pine.
Yeah, this is pine.
That explains why it smelled pretty good.
Yeah.
While I was inhaling all that dust.
Yeah,
And then it
as
got
you
a
were-
little overwhelming.
Yeah, as you were getting some form of cancer later in life.
Yeah, you know.
With all the pine sap going in your lungs.
Well, at least I know what's gonna kill me. You know.
Yes. You're gonna die eventually. You might as well just do all the fun stuff that kills you sooner.
Yeah.
But that's fun in the process.
Pick the thing that kills you.
Yeah.
So how do we? Oh,
So you
okay.
push it in there.
All right, fair enough. I was just about to ask a dumb question. Answer before. So you, brother. All right. I'm gonna have so many like GIF files of like Hulk Hogan like fucking doing shit.
So now what we do.
Okay.
Let me go get a quick rag. We'll wipe up the glue.
Pretty neat.
So. And then we'll clamp it down. I just want to get a little bit of this now before we clamp it down and get a ton more glue coming up.
Make sure you're getting them all, because like some of them are like all lopsided. How do you make sure that hammering is going to be effective?
It's not going to quite be. If I need to, like these that are kind of in, I'll kind of hit it with the edge if need be.
Look, you got a lot of goop.
I know, a lot of goop. Now, this edge is going to hold the union heavily to the stripes. And also, with that being said, some of these stripes that aren't really held well to the union, because you see there's a little gapping,
Yeah.
it's going to be difficult to get them in. So those maybe have a little gapping there, but they're all glued to this. Now, because there's some gapping on some of them here, you need to make sure that this stripe is held very well to this union, because theoretically this stripe to this union is what's going to hold all these kind of in place as well.
Yeah.
If they're not fully well connected to here.
Yeah.
And unfortunately that's sometimes just the case depending on how the miter saw cuts. It should be perfect, but you know, life isn't perfect, so but that gives your flag a little character, you know. So for the time being, we'll let this sit for about 5 minutes, we'll unclamp it, and then let it continue to dry the rest of itself. And in about 30 minutes, it's good to cut with a miter saw. It'll be dry enough inside that it still technically will be drying for a few more hours, but after about a half an hour,
It'll be like good enough.
it'll be good enough that we could hit this edge here with a miter saw and make it nice and flat.
Flatten this shit down?
You can. It is also difficult to sometimes do that. You can try to by hitting it with a hammer here. But sometimes if you do that, it'll then pull these up over here. So you can try and get some of it down. I personally like a little bit of the look of the waviness.
Yeah.
Some people want it perfectly
the
flat.
three-dimensional thing. Yeah, that's cool.
If we wanted it perfectly flat, we'd have to spend a little bit more time in the prep.
Yeah.
In the prep of it before we even did any staining of any kind.
It does look kind of cool, like the three-dimensional look. Now that you mention that.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty good how it is. I think we'll let it go for a few minutes. Maybe we'll go get a little bite to eat since it's lunchtime and both of us haven't had anything to eat today. So I say let's give it a little bit of time. We'll come back down and then we'll hit it with the miter saw.
Sounds good, man.
All right, so we're back from the break. Glue is still theoretically wet, but it should be dry enough to the point where it'll hold everything together pretty well while we continue to work on it a little bit, just for time efficiency. We'll just give it a quick little brush. We are going to brand it first. So we'll flip it over, hit the back end of it, give it a little branding. Then we'll
So you have your own John Hancock brand?
Yeah. So it'll take a few minutes to heat up. You gotta hit it with a propane torch.
Let's have a look at that guy. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. What do you think? It's cool.
Yeah, so let's do this quick so you can see a little better.
So what is this material? Is this brass?
So this is brass, yeah. It's a little dusty from...
Why brass?
It heats up a little quicker. I mean, I don't know. That's the people who made it.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it makes
didn't make it
sense. It
myself.
makes sense because, like, you want a pretty heat conductive thing, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense. Brass is
So,
pretty.
the one thing I wish I would have done was paid the extra $15 and had it as a plug-in branding iron. I didn't realize how much I was going to actually use this. So what we'll do...
Oh, like plug in like a soldering iron?
Yeah, so it's almost like a soldering iron, but it's an electric actual handle that goes here and heats up the brass.
The element, yeah.
And you just plug it in, it comes, a cord comes out of it and plugs it in. So I wish I would have done that. This one I think was like around $50 to have made, and that one was like 70 or 75, something like that. So
Pretty neat.
didn't realize I was going to be making so many projects in the first year, otherwise I just would have paid the extra bit of money. So what I'm going to have you do is we'll light the propane torch, and I'll basically have you hold it like this. Alright, so we'll hit this.
So should I just hold it like this? I'm just kidding.
Yep. This propane, I think it comes out about 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. I think you should be able to hold it no problem. Yeah, right in front of you.
Yeah, you should be able to hold it, no problem. Cool. So is there a technique to this?
So personally, here, watch out, I'll show you. Personally,
Marshmallow?
I like it if I can. Actually, you could, I don't know if you want to bring that up at all. I would hold it like this. If you want to, you can do just like that.
Yeah, just
Personally, I like hitting the middle for a while, and then you'll see it start to heat up, and then go around. It actually almost turns like a darker color when it really starts to heat up well. And you'll see it on the back end, it'll be like a much darker color than it really is. So, I'll get the water going.
Yeah.
Just don't burn yourself.
So how long does this process take for the heating part?
That'll take about 2 minutes.
Damn, alright.
Yeah. That's why it would be nice to have an electric one, where I could have just set it,
Plugged it in, yeah.
left and walked away.
That's all you need, just a little slap on there, huh?
A little bit. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably just about ready to go, so I'll take the propane from you.
Cool, and then we just hit it, right?
Yep, so now be careful a little bit, find where that water was.
Right here?
Yep, give it a little push down, a few seconds. Oh, that's going real hard. Alright, just kind of hit the edges quick. Pull it up. I think that was really hot. Pull it up, pull it up. Oh, I was going to say that was really hot.
Oh, man.
That's a really hot one. Look at that, you burnt through it. I've never done that.
I think that looks fucking awesome.
That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, man, I've actually never done that, where I've gone all the way through when you've heated it up so much that did you push hard?
I didn't not push hard.
You did not push hard.
Alright, cool.
Cool. Alright, so now this is going to be incredibly hot.
Yo,
so,
for sure.
We're done, man. Alright, let's go hit it with the miter saw quick, and then we'll brush it off. So then we'll hit this. You gotta kind of go a little quick on the ones that are already stained because the stain itself can burn.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
That looks so good. I hope the camera's seeing what I'm seeing.
Fine, then we'll hit this. Little fine touches, everything, every visible piece I want to have some form of burn look to it. We'll see if I can do it. Sometimes the propane will go out because it's upside down. Let's see. Flip it and hit the bottom edge. Let's do this. We can do this quick. Well, it seems unsafe. Alright, this is what we're going to do.
You want to tilt it, yeah.
We'll tilt it. I don't want to hold the back end of it though. Okay, and then last,
Got that edge a little bit, maybe.
then we'll hit this.
It's not intuitive to burn the flag, but it actually makes it look a lot cooler in this context. Yeah, man, it helped, like, you're really adding, like, a three-dimensional kind of thing to it by going on the edges, and then you have the waves, like you were describing.
Yeah.
That's definitely, like, it looks way different now than it did before. Like,
So then from here, give it a little brush. Make sure all the little fine dust is off. And then we'll hit it with a little clear coat.
oh, you really get in there with it. The wood really like soaks that up. It makes the clear coat pretty well.
Yeah, yep. Alright, so we'll just let this sit the way it is for about 30 minutes. We'll come down and for the most part it'll be pretty good. You want to let this dry about 1 to 2 hours before a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
But within about a half an hour you can
can
start to
move
do a
it.
little bit of
Yeah.
things with it. Yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
This is for the most part pretty much it. I like to hang it with those command wall strips, the ones that can hold up to like 5 pounds.
Yeah.
The ones that you can like, if you stick it up against the wall, it's held by Velcro in the back.
Yeah.
But if you need to, when you peel the flag off, you could then like pull that little strip down and it peels it off the wall. That's my favorite way of hanging it because you don't have to worry about.
Uses this.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost exactly the same thing, but for walls. And this thing doesn't weigh a ton. It's maybe 5 pounds or so. So you use 2 to 4 of them. I like around 4. And theoretically they can hold 20 pounds then. But you can take the flag off if need be, and then you can just pull the little strip down.
All right, guys. So we're back in the basement. Final touches are done, and here's what we got.
Yeah, should all be complete at the moment. Put the final coating on top, the finished coating. For the most part, it's dry. Maybe a few more minutes.
Clear coat's going on there. Yeah, it looks pretty good, man. I think it came out pretty good. So I'll just put that down there. Cool.
Yeah, so that's the process. I don't know if I had mentioned earlier, this is the first time that you saw on the table saw we ripped all of these to width. That's the first time I've done that process. A little more cost effective, but definitely takes a bit more time to do. However,
Nice when you have an assistant.
yeah, very nice when you have an assistant. It made it go a little quicker. But like I said earlier, they make these that you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's already this exact width and both width this way and length.
Yeah.
And then they come in any real length in all reality. So a little easier, that way you don't need a table saw, but there are things that honestly you could do yourself if you wanted to. Get a little stain. If you have a small little miter saw, you could easily do it. So that's how we make the 18-inch mini flags. I make the 36-inch big ones as well, and a whole bunch of other
and
cool
everyone
stuff.
can see that on your Instagram. You guys can check that out.
Yeah.
It's awesome stuff. We actually do discounts for veterans.
I do.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Any vets out there, and want some of these done, and you've obviously made this one for us today, so you get to see like the process. But you also make ones that like open up in the gun safes and things like that. Really cool stuff. So make sure you guys check out Jordan's Instagram. Give him some follows. It's kind of in its infancy, so let's double that following after this video's up. It won't be too hard.
Awesome, man.
Cool.
Well, I appreciate it. It was fun that you were here to help out and be a part of the whole process.
Yeah,
Cool,
we'll do something again in the
Thank you.
future. Peace.
Being a higher level athlete, if you want to compete at a high level, you have to have a certain amount of an ego. I can try and be as humble as I can out when I'm having conversations with people. I try and refrain from having any conversation about the level that I'm at. There's really no need to let people find out for themselves.
Yeah.
Just be quiet about it and
I'm a
humble.
perfect example, dude.
Exactly.